Good afternoon. It's once again 5:30 on a Friday. And of course, this is your host for the next 25 minutes of Hotline 21, Congressman Danny Davis, and I am delighted to be here. You know, I woke up this morning, I had a song on my mind, and it was a song that said, "It's a good day for moving along, and it's a good day for singing a song." Well, it's a good day. Everything is right. Nothing is wrong. It's a good day for shining your shoes, and it's a good day for losing your blues. So it's a good day. As a matter of fact, it's kind of cool. It's a little cooler in Chicago than we would want it to be this time of year. But of course, this is Chicago, the Windy City. And the weather you can never totally predict. It is anything that it turns out to be. Well, I've had a very busy week, a very good week. We started Monday out with a great press conference at the McDonald's over at right off of Washington and Western. We had a big announcement. Brother owns the McDonald's there, and we were delighted to be with him and people from corporate headquarters. And we announced the fact that McDonald's is hiring 2,400 people. 2,400 people this summer for their summer program. So if you are a young person and you want to work and you want a job, and you don't want to just kind of sit around wondering if there's anything to do for the summer, and you've got a lot of idle time coming up. You know, the good books say that an idle mind is the devil's workshop. But McDonald's is hiring 2,400 people, mostly young people. You don't have to be young, but they're hiring, and they're going to be hiring for the summer. And so if you want your job, go on over to McDonald's and apply and get yourself one of those jobs and make yourself some money. That's not the only thing. Of course, I left immediately and headed on off to Washington, where decisions, big decisions, are being made. They're being made not only in Washington, D.C., they're being made in Springfield, Illinois. And of course, coming up on Monday, we are going to see the inauguration of a new mayor. The first woman, African-American woman, mayor of the city of Chicago. We had one other woman, Jane Byrne, some time ago, but we haven't had a lot of experience with women being mayor of the city of Chicago, and so we're all excited. We're all looking forward to it, and we're all ready. I think the inauguration really starts about 10:45, and so people are going to be flocking to it and getting ready and ready to roll. If you've got some ideas of what you would like the new mayor to initiate, call in and let us know. Tell us what it is you're hoping that the new mayor will initiate. Of course, we look forward to your call. The number is 312-738-1060, and we've got a caller on the phone right now. Caller, are you there?
Hello, Dr. Davis.
Yes, caller, go right ahead. Are you there?
Can you hear me, Dr.
But
Davis?
maybe our caller decided to do something else for
Can you hear me?
a hot moment, but we know he's going to call back or she's going to call back. And so let me just mention, as we're waiting, there are all kind of things going on in Chicago, and of course tonight soon as I leave here, I'm going to run down to a Taste of Chicago reception at the Willis Tower Sky Deck. Used to be Sears Tower, but it's now Willis Tower. I'm going to run down there and make some comments to a group that will be there. Tomorrow I'm going to be engaged Saturday morning from starting at 8 o'clock. There's an issues conference at the Palmer House. I'm going to head on out to that. And of course, my good friend Joyce Pope Lightfoot. This is not the mayor's mother or anything, but Miss Joyce Pope Lightfoot is having her 95th birthday celebration at 3400 South Indiana. She has a birthday party every year, and she usually invites me, and I'm just delighted to be invited. And I usually try my best to get there, so I'm going to try to get there tomorrow. And while I'm there, I'm going to also try and visit with another friend of mine who lives in that building, a fellow named Floyd Thomas, who used to work with us and all of that kind of thing. Floyd was a Forest Preserve policeman. He also was actively involved and actively engaged. And so I'm going to visit with him, and so I'll get a chance to visit with a senior citizen. Well, there are a lot of senior citizens in that building. Of course, if you're 95 years old, you know you're a senior citizen. So I'm looking forward to going to Mrs. Joyce Pope Lightfoot's birthday party. It's at the Symphony in Bronzeville, and that's just a great place to live and a great place to be. And then, of course, later on, I'm being honored, and I want to thank them for giving me something called the 2019 Safer Visionary Award tomorrow night at the Safer Foundation's annual fundraiser and gala. It's going to be at the Museum of Science and Industry at 5700 South Lakeshore Drive, and I'm going to be there with bells on. As a matter of fact, I might even wear myself a tuxedo and a black tie and all of that kind of stuff, because I'll be so glad and so grateful to get this award. Anytime you get an award from anybody, it's really great. But to be able to get an award from the Safer Foundation, I feel particularly honored. And they're giving me this award for the work that we do with reentry. And of course, if you don't know it, SAFER is one of the very best reentry groups in America. Nobody does more to provide opportunity for individuals with criminal records to get help and work their way back into normal life. So I am grateful. Let's see if our caller is back, and if so, we'll go right to the phone and take our caller. Caller, are you there? Well, maybe
Hello,
he's
Doctor.
not there. Maybe a little something went
Can you hear
on.
me? Can
But
you
we'll
hear me?
just keep on trying. Just keep on
Hear me?
trying. You know, there are a lot of different ways to skin a cat. If you try once and it doesn't work, then you try again, and you try and try and try until you succeed. Sunday, you know, I don't know what you do, but I try my best to go to church. And of course, I've been invited to come to St. Luke's Church of God in Christ Sunday morning. That's going to be the 41st anniversary of Bishop James Austin, and he and Lady Austin will be celebrating their 41st year of pastoral ministry, and I'm going to try my best to get there. I have another meeting Sunday, another invitation Sunday morning, but I'm also going to try to get to the St. Luke's Church of God in Christ, just up there in Cabrini Green, and wonderful, wonderful church. And of course, the bishop and his wife and family and all, I want to congratulate them and hope to see them. Sunday afternoon, though, I'm going to be presenting an award. Caller, are you there? Let's try and see.
Davis?
Well, we'll keep
Yeah, how you
on,
doing,
keep
Connie
on,
Davis?
keeping on. But I'm going to try and see. I'm going to get an opportunity to attend the graduation ceremony for your School of Beauty Culture. And so I'm going to be there and make some comments to these young men and women who've learned how to become cosmetologists, and they've learned how to fix hair. That's going to be from 3 to 7 at the Charles Hayes Center, 4859 South Wabash Avenue. And Dr. Mildred Dixon, a woman that I've known for many, many years. She's had Mildred School of Beauty when I first knew her, and she has trained thousands of beauticians because she's been doing it. I've known her for more than 40 years, and she was training beauticians when I met her. And so she has trained thousands of beauticians, and I'm going to look forward to being there to wish them well. Of course, after that, I'm going to run and try and go to a celebration with the new city treasurer, Melissa Irwin. That's going to be at the JLM Abundant Life Center, 2622 West Jackson Boulevard, at the house that Reverend Johnny Miller built. And so it's always a pleasure to go there. You know, it's amazing to me that people can sit around and do nothing and sit around and complain, not be involved, not be engaged, not be a part. The reason I always liked the motto that the Panthers had, the Panthers' slogan was, "You're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem." And so if you're not a part of the solution, then you are subject to be a part of the problem. And so I'd rather be a part of the solution. My daddy was fond of saying, "I'd rather see a sermon than hear one any day." Simply meaning that it's one thing to talk about things. It's another to be involved, to be engaged. If you want to see solutions, help create them. I am hoping, of course, I went to a great graduation last Saturday up in Wisconsin to the Lakeland University. Young fellow that I know, we call him CJ, graduated from college. And all of us who were there were just so happy and excited. CJ's father died a few years ago, and so he's done it, and rather than giving up and saying, "I can't do this," he just dug in, went to school, got his sheepskin in computer science, and he's now a programmer.
Hello?
And knows all about computers. So we want to give a shout out to CJ. But there were actually 4 students there who had gone to Providence St. Mail. We want to give a shout out to Mr. Paul Adams, who is my fraternity brother, meaning that he's a member of the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, but he's one of the most esteemed and most renowned educators that I've ever known anything at all about. Paul created this school. It had been Provident and St. Mael, and two schools. One was a girls' school, one was a boys' school. And they actually, for all practical purposes, were about to go out of business. And he was able to take them and merge them. And all of the kids who graduate from that school basically go to college. It's one of the most successful college prep schools that you will find anywhere. So I want to give a shout out to all of the parents who've been able to get their children into Provident St. Mael. They have a great curriculum. They have a great approach to discipline, and they don't take any prisoners. It's a way of saying that if you go there, you have to be in compliance with the rules and regulations. And you have to do what they tell you. They don't tolerate too much stuff that's not in compliance. One of the reasons that many parents say they don't like to send their children to public schools is because sometimes the discipline is not as great as they'd like for it to be. And so if you want your child to be in a disciplined environment, send them over to Providence St. Mael, and I guarantee you they'll be able to study, and if they follow the rules, I think they're going to be doing well. Got a lot of meetings coming up. It's summertime is approaching, and of course, there was a song, Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich, and your mama's good looking, so hush, little baby, don't you cry. But of course, summertime for me oftentimes means that we have an opportunity to do town hall meetings. That is, we have an opportunity to go out and meet with residents and meet with people and listen to what they have to say. I want to give a shout out to the new mayor of Forest Park, Mr. Mayor Hoskins, and he was just elected, just had his installation on Monday night. I was not able to make the installation, but I was able to go by the reception afterwards, and it was jam-packed. People were excited, they were delighted, and we have a town hall meeting planned with them on Wednesday, May the 29th, at the Forest Park Village Hall. And of course, we will be there. But that same day earlier, I'm going to be serving White Castles over on Roosevelt Road. I served up some hamburgers over the other day at McDonald's, and I'm going to be at White Castles. You can't, it's kind of like love and marriage. You can't do one without doing the other. They go together like a horse and a carriage. And so if I could do Whoppers at McDonald's, I can certainly do sliders at White Castle. People say, why do you do this? Well, I do it because I believe in work, and I believe in the dignity of work. and all work has value. And so I support different work institutions. I've even served barbecue. I was over on North Avenue last year. It was a real hot day, and the alderman and I were serving barbecue and chopping up. Let me tell you, when you work, you bind yourself to being a productive, contributing member of society. And so, no, I don't mind working at a McDonald's because you may start at a McDonald's and then you may end up owning McDonald's. I've worked at one McDonald's with a gentleman. He and his wife met, and when they were in high school, they were crew members, and they ended up owning 13 McDonald's before it was all over. My good friend, Dr. Willie Wilson, of course, Cyrilla McSween was a pioneer. And so if you think I'm promoting McDonald's, I'm promoting the concept of work. Work is a virtue. And the prophet Khalil Gibran says when you work, you give of yourself in such a way that you bind yourself to what it is that you're doing. And he also said that if you're doing something that you don't like, that if you are a baker and you don't like what you're doing, then you bake a bitter bread rather than the sweet bread. He went so far as to say that if you're doing something that maybe you don't like, you might be better off to sit at the gate and beg for alms and let somebody else do the work and let somebody who want to do it. Let me tell you, if one can work, then they know that they are useful. They know that they are beneficial. And so let's try and make sure that our young people who are not going to be in school during the summer, let's try and help them find a summer job. I have interns, young people who work in my office, both in Chicago and in Washington. And some of those are, they are just tremendous, and I'm so delighted to have them. And I'm so delighted that they are working. And I'm so delighted that they are a part of contributing. And so we even at church sometimes sing a song. It says, I'm gonna work until my days are done. I'll cease from sorrow. There will be no tomorrow. I'm gonna work. And so work is a virtue. Work. Don't sit around doing nothing, watching TV, playing with this or playing with that. Find something that you can do in a useful way. And I guarantee you, it will make you happy. It will give you a sense of well-being, a sense of security. It will make you feel good about yourself. And so just work. Find something to do. Well, our time has run out. And when I come to the end of my journey, when I come to the end of today's time, it's been a pleasure being with you. Be good to yourself. Be good to somebody else. I look forward to seeing you next Friday. And so until then, have a good evening, have a good weekend, and have a great tomorrow.